What's up guys, my name is Devil Mode, and this is a warning to all you investors out there that a stock market crash might be in the near future. So in this video, I want to go through some of the recent events, what's been going on in the stock market, and talk about some key events and dates coming up that might affect the market, and then talk to you about my strategy and what I'm going to do in these next few weeks. So if you've looked at the stock market at all in these recent dates, you'll notice everything costs a lot of money. Everything feels so overpriced right now. And probably the best example of this is Tesla. That thing is going to the moon. It's crazy with the events of getting included into the S&P 500. That thing took off. We're also hitting all-time highs in these recent days with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 indices. It is crazy right now. But what goes up might actually come back down in these next coming weeks. So what are some of the key dates and events that you need to look out for to see what's going to go on in the market? So the first thing you want to look out for is anything related to stimulus negotiations and government funding. So let's talk about stimulus news first. Now the big thing is at the end of this year, December 31st, we're going to be losing a lot of relief programs that have been helping people out during this pandemic. Things like unemployment assistance, rental assistance, student loan deferment, mortgage forbearance, and eviction protections. All of these things, unless renewed, expire at the beginning of next year. If we don't get a stimulus bill that has these provisions in there, we could see huge market impacts due to this. Now, moving on to the government funding bill, if we don't get government funding, we're going to be having kind of a problem because the government stops functioning. And this could lead to a government shutdown. And along with that, we have 2 million employees just about getting laid off. Usually when people get laid off, they don't like to spend money, which will impact the economy quite a bit. Now, the deadline for government funding is actually December 11th, but the House had passed an extension to push that deadline to the 18th of December. So hopefully we'll get something by then, but just keep your eyes out for that kind of news related to government funding. Now, the second thing you want to look out for are COVID cases and COVID deaths, both of which have been spiking a lot recently. And we're hitting all-time highs, exceeding 3,000 deaths per day as of yesterday. Now, for reference, those are the deaths occurring in the United States. And to put that into perspective, that's like having 9/11 occur every day, where we had about 3,000 people die. Now, to compound onto that situation, if we get things like lockdowns that are imposed to control these COVID cases and COVID deaths, we could have a lot of economy impacts to this because no one's going to be spending their money. Businesses are going to be shut down. It's going to be a roller coaster ride if that occurs. So we've got some hope coming up in the future. Actually, today, the FDA is meeting to discuss emergency authorization use for the Pfizer vaccine. So hopefully that goes through. But you want to pay attention to it because if it doesn't get approved, we're going to see probably a huge pullback. Now, the Moderna vaccine, which is the other predominant vaccine we're looking at, is set to be under review on December 17th by the FDA as well. If we get any negative news coming out of these approval meetings, then we could see a negative impact on the stock market almost immediately. Now, the last thing you want to pay attention to are hedge funds. Typically, hedge funds like to sell off a lot of their stocks to show profits or gains for the year. And what comes with that is usually a market pullback. Now, compounded on that, on December 21st, we have Tesla being included in the S&P 500. And what's been going on up until that point is Tesla has been running off to the races. And I'm expecting that Tesla will probably pull back on December 21st because of the way it's being included in the S&P 500, which it's going to be bought all at once on that day. So get ready. So on or after December 21st, you might actually see a fairly sizable pullback in Tesla stock, as well as any other EV related company like NIO, XPeng, or ChargePoint. So my strategy right now is I'm controlling myself so I don't go out and buy a bunch of stocks because I'm predicting that a stock market crash is coming in the near future. Now, if I see a negative day along the way to some of these trigger events, I'll probably nibble in a little bit, but I do want to save most of my money for when the large stock market pullback occurs. I don't expect this pullback to last too long. Probably it'll end maybe late January to early February, and that's when we'll start seeing the recovery of the stock market. If we get any positive news on things like stimulus, COVID cases or deaths, lockdowns and vaccines, then we'll probably start seeing the market recover. So in summary, here are the things you need to keep your eyes out for. First, we have the Pfizer vaccine FDA meeting for emergency use authorization on December 10th. We've got Moderna on December 17th. Assuming that the deadline for government funding gets extended, we should be seeing something from now until December 18th. And then finally, you want to keep your eyes out for the Tesla inclusion into the S&P 500 on December 21st. Well, that's all I've got for today. Just a small warning for you investors out there looking to get into the stock market. If you like what you saw, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.